This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying Easy Green by Fat Baby and Hot House Hot Sauce by Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. We are back with two sauces, two brands we've had before. Butterfly Bakery of Vermont's Hot House, which is a Hot One sauce this current season we're in, and Fat Baby Hot Sauce's Easy Green, which is a milder sauce. We've been doing a lot of hot sauces, and so the Easy Green is going to be a nice starter for this episode. The Hot House, I'm a little bit curious about.
When I pulled these out of the fridge, it was like just pulling out like a container of sour cream.
Yeah.
These look and sound much nicer than the last 4 or 5 that we've done.
I think Hot House might be a little bit hot. It's not on their scale they have on their bottle. It's not crazy hot, but it is above the pretty hot mark. So that one might be a bit. But okay. Butterfly Bakery Vermont, we've liked all their flavors so far. So, But we haven't. And here's the weird thing. So, Fat Baby Hot Sauce has the only, and I don't know if this is a good thing. It's had the only sauce that we've tried on the podcast that we didn't do a deep dive focused episode on yet. We just had sauce we wanted to try of theirs and we put it into an episode. So we still have to do a backstory on Fat Baby brand, and that is a Michigan-based company. That's one that I believe they actually make it in. Looks like Ada, Michigan it says on the bottle, so it's super close local.
That is really funny. The closest sauce we've ever done, and we never just really did a full episode on them.
Here's the glass half full on that, and I'm hopefully the makers listen to this. Since they're so close, instead of doing our normal deep dive research, I still will do that, but instead of just talking on the air with you, we could actually meet them and talk to them about it.
Yeah, that'd be
do
fun.
A whole thing. So that would be a fun one. It'd be a change of pace with a local Michigan brand, but
right.
But yeah, that would be cool. This is the week after the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl has occurred. Our Philadelphia hot sauce friends are happy.
Did you watch Super Bowl?
Yes, I did. I didn't know if I was going to. I wasn't really excited about it, but I was like, well, I'll just kind of have it in the background. Angela was watching it. I sat down, and I didn't think I would enjoy it because I'm like, the Lions aren't in it. But I will say, other than seeing the Lions win it, a really enjoyable thing is seeing Kansas Mahomes get his behind handed to him.
Yeah, so I actually didn't watch it. Caught the highlights. My big thing. So Taylor Swift in a vacuum, I have zero problem with. I think
well,
her.
If you don't like her, she's going to die in a vacuum. So I can see why.
Okay, as a standalone person, I don't mind Taylor Swift.
What's your favorite song by Taylor Swift?
Ooh, one of the early ones. This is her leaving her initial country phase, but 22, Trouble. I like those songs. And I do like the really early, her first couple albums, the very good acoustic guitar country music stuff. So I do like that. I don't mind her in a vacuum. She's not my favorite, but I think she's got some good music. My biggest fear was seeing the Chiefs get every call in their favor, known to man, them controversially winning, and then Travis Kelce proposing, where it's F off.
Yep. Which would be terrible for her songwriting future.
Gosh, I know.
She needs
the
relationship controversy. It's man, she's just not edgy anymore. It's it's. I don't know if you ever saw in Boy Meets World. Did you watch Boy Meets World or no? Was that not in Real House growing up?
I know what it is. I watched some episodes, but I never really followed it.
Yeah. So quick recap of an episode that this makes me think of. Eric Matthews, so the older brother, he was dating a girl that was she played a guitar outside of their hangout that they always went to, but it was always this really super sweet, super cloyingly talking about daisies and all this kind of, it wasn't really, there was nothing to it. It was all fluff. And so he he basically started dating her, and he then decided he was going to break up with her. And because he broke up with her, she just started writing these just like grunge, like depressing songs, and everyone loved it. And she became this huge star.
Hmm.
And it was like she later on he like went to talk to her because he's like, hey, you keep writing songs about me. Like this is not great for me. And she was like, well, say something else bad about me. And he found out that like she was basically pulling song ideas from him, like mistreating her.
Hmm.
And so then he's like, he just went like the opposite. And I just saw that and I'm like, this is pre Taylor Swift, but it's kind of Taylor Swift's
It's,
MO.
it's that, yeah, it's the formula.
Yeah. It's like when the Simpsons predict something from the future, they're like, how did they, how did
Yeah,
they know?
that's really fun.
Um,
It was nice to see. So I was like, I would randomly Google, NFL score,
mhm.
and it was clear that the Eagles were just absolutely throwing down. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think it was like just after halftime. I think they were barely into the third quarter. I saw a video from Dave Portnoy, and he's just like, Mahomes is getting absolutely smoked. This is the worst performance of his career. And I'm like, oh, that makes me feel so good.
Yeah. So I was talking
The
to,
game's not done, and he's calling it.
yeah, I was talking to Steve from Mammoth Sauce Company because he had mentioned before how he was hopeful that the Lions faced the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and it never happened. But he said that he was pretty much nervous until the fourth quarter. Like he was still on pins and needles, and I was like, honestly, so when it was 24-0 in the second quarter, I thought this is over. I'm like, yeah, they could come back, but I'm like, this is just seems to be over because of just how dominant the defense was, and it just Kansas City just did not look right. Like that defense was just too disruptive. So,
Yeah. And
little
I
worried.
also,
The very first penalty of the game though was kind of a bad call in favor of the Chiefs. So everyone thought, oh, here we go. And then
mhm.
there was another one that evened out going the other way. But I don't think it was a bad called game. It was just Kansas City just got rocked.
I think I think what happened was if it was a closer game, I bet the refs would have been a little more flag friendly. But I think the
Mhm.
refs saw how bad they were playing and they were like, we can't help this dude. Like this
Yeah, I
is
think.
just a loss. I I know what the script is. I know, you know, we're supposed to make this essentially, Disney wedding out of
Mhm.
Travis and or whatever, Kelsey and Taylor. And
Yeah,
I think they're
Travis
just like
Swift.
Travis Swift. I saw a meme of it was like Taylor scolding Travis, and it said, "Zero catches for 0 yards doesn't put fuel in the jet, Travis." Like,
Yeah, I saw one of my favorite conspiracy theories was, hey, the refs did everything they could to get the Chiefs to the Super Bowl because they knew that Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl would be the draw they need for ratings, but they don't need them to win. They already got the viewership. So then they're like, all right, Philadelphia, let's play an even game, and then Philly just rocked them.
exactly. I was afraid of that too, and that's partially why I just didn't watch it. I'm like, you know what? You're not getting my view. I did see someone said it was the most watched Super Bowl of all time. And I want to manipulate this, not manipulate. I just want to filter the stats and be like, okay, let's remove 8-year-old to 24-year-old females, and then we'll talk about viewership. That was probably 40% of the people that tuned in.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's over now. Lions are in the off season, getting geared up for a healthy defense next year. So
Yeah,
trading
we can
trading
have a
for
healthy
Miles Garrett.
defense. I want your thoughts. It doesn't have to be now. It can be now. I want it to be now, but it doesn't have to be. Your thoughts on essentially a brand new coaching staff.
I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried about it? Are you just saying that, or are you actually not worried about it?
No, I honestly am not really that worried about it.
Okay. I'd run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell. It is hard though when your entire coaching staff is brand new, and I know that Brad Holmes will make good choices along with Dan to get the right people in, but I almost see a brand new coaching staff as almost starting over with like a brand new team.
Yeah, I mean, I can go way too far into this, and then this podcast suddenly becomes a Lions podcast through and through because I could go on for a bit. But I will say, and we can discuss it further next time if we want. But I will just say, yeah, there are several key factors that does not have me as worried as everybody else is out there freaking out. One thing I will say, just I find funny, Dan Campbell's still the head coach of the Lions. His assistant leaves, and they're like, well, that's completely making them change everything that they're doing. Like, that's starting from scratch on the offense because they lost their offensive coordinator. Like, this is terrible. Even though there's a lot of people that still know how things run there, you still have the head coach. But then Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears and revamping the entire, like, the whole staff is getting brand new, and they're like, wow, they're going to have a huge surge because everything's brand new. I'm like, well, everything's starting from scratch there too. Like,
Yeah.
they're both having to adapt, but at least Dan's still in charge. But there's some other things that don't have me as worried. But one thing before we get into trying the sauce, even though we did have a good sidetrack right there. So my parents brought something to my attention, that just a restaurant that just opened in early 2024 that I'm gonna see if you're familiar with. Have you heard of, in Grand Haven, Michigan, Blue Porch Bar and Grill?
Have not.
So Blue Porch Bar and Grill, like I said, it's open early last year. It's basically, it's pretty traditional bar food, but one thing has it standing out among others. It has a wall of over 100 hot sauces.
Really?
Yes. Now,
I've never heard of it.
they don't have a list, and I'll post a picture for Photos Without Context. The Photos Without Context one, there is a lot of, I'm not saying lesser sauces, because like they're still good. Like, there's a couple different versions of El Yucateca. I see a Da Bomb on there. I see some Dave's Insanity. I see some Valentina's. But I do see like a Born hot sauce, which is, I think, a Texas-based one that I tried in Albuquerque. I see Hot and Saucy in the photo. I see some Texas Pete. Like, obviously that's not as fancy, but 100 sauces. I'm real curious. I want to go through and just like scan and be like, all right, what's the best sauce they got on that wall? And I'm curious if they rotate them, or if it's like, this is the 100, and when we run out, we restock the same thing. Like, I want information on this.
Mm-hmm. Do they
But
have
I
like
was
a
just happy. I was just excited to see like a restaurant where it's like, hey, no, this is an attraction, like the hot
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah. Now, what does their menu look like? Is it like hot sauce parallel? Like, is it stuff that you'd normally put hot sauce on, or is this just kind of like thrown in as like a thing on a regular bar menu?
Well, let me take a quick look at the bar menu. This episode, again, is not sponsored by Blue Porch Bar and Grill. Not sponsored by Blue Porch Bar and Grill. But if it was, I would tell you, on this menu, you have appetizers such as Wisconsin cheese curds, queso tachos, sticky sprouts, quesadillas, street corn, dip, sticky ribs, porch chili, fried pickles. Salads we can skip over. I don't see anything crazy about the salads. You have smash burgers. So they have smash burgers, a blue olive burger, a peanut butter burger. I've had one in Jackson, Michigan before that was really good. Oh, pride and joy of Michael in the bar food. It's a veggie burger made from a poblano and black bean patty.
It's terrible.
Let's see. There's some sandwiches. You got brats and hot dogs. Pretty, it looks like it's got a bit of flair to the bar food, but I don't see anything super sweet or super spicy. As I was going through the desserts, I was talking, so I saw a cheesecake shooter and s'more brownies. But
Sounds good.
But yeah, they have a hot dog special, a slider special. Looks like they do walking tacos sometimes. So yeah, I mean, so the wall of hot sauce is really just for the wings, for the compliment to the food, and that, honestly, that's kind of nice, because instead of it being like, oh, we do a bunch of different spicy things, it's, hey, here's a wall of hot sauce. It can go on any of your meals.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
which
That's cool.
I'm gonna mention when we get into this Fat Baby hot sauce here in a second. There's one recommendation they have for this that was a little peculiar to me, but I'm very intrigued to try. But yeah, the Blue Porch Bar and Grill in Grand Haven, Michigan. If you are in Michigan, or if you're coming to Michigan, let us know. Maybe we can meet you there and try it along with you. But I would like to go there, whether it's us going as the podcast, or I just bring my parents and, see if I set up an impromptu interview with the owner that I don't know the name of currently. So
You can edit that in. That's fine.
yeah, but let's get into the sauces. Again, this is the first sauce we're going to do is the Fat Baby hot sauce is Easy Green. It's a smoked jalapeno and pineapple sauce. Again, this is a Michigan-based hot sauce company. I believe I know that at one point they were talking about that they have a farm where they grow their peppers up near Clare, Michigan, which is kind of central northern central to the state, to the
Yeah.
lower peninsula here.
I have a good buddy that
Um,
lives out there.
but yeah, ingredients pretty simple on this. You got vinegar, bell, jalapeno, and habanero peppers, pineapple juice, salt, pepper, and honey. So instead of using artificial sweeteners, they're using honey there. So that's it's always a good sign. Give
Oh
this
man,
one a smell.
it is smoky.
Has a real good smoke to it.
That's real good.
So this one, it's I don't know, the consistency is not super watery. It's got a nice texture to it. It's what you would think of for a classic salsa verde. I'd say maybe a little bit more watery than a classic salsa verde, but not too bad at all. But yeah, real smoky. I get that pineapple. I get the smoke.
What
The
were the
pepper
main
there.
peppers in this one again?
So bell pepper, jalapeno, and habanero.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pour myself a little spoon. I got my spoon left over from Chinese takeout. I'm traveling, so I'm the one traveling. So even if you wanted to record in the studio today, I'm not available. So
How hard would you laugh? Like turn my camera on. I'm like in your basement.
yeah, it's like the turntables have turned.
It's okay. Put the kids down. Everything's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I was able to crate train Polly, get her all settled. Um, but yeah, let's give this one a try. That was a much bigger spoonful than I anticipated. This is a deep spoon.
It was a little warmer than I thought.
So a little bit warmer with the habanero. Still
Man,
get the jalapeno. Good pineapple flavor.
you don't get a lot of pretty hot verdes.
No.
This is definitely on the hotter end of verde. I'd say overall like a 2+.
I like the combination of the pineapple and the smoke. You think of like an al pastor where that's just like built with char and smoke and the pineapple flavor. But that heat is really good.
It's a really pleasant sauce.
I like how it's not sweetened. I like how it is sweetened with just honey.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's not too sweet on there. One of the things I thought was interesting on their website for this sauce, which again, this is fatbabyhotsauce.com for their website. The two things that they list on their website that are perfectly pairing foods, perfect paired foods. It's been a long day. One is your regular beef tacos, and another is mac and cheese. Like the smoke I get for the mac and cheese, but the pineapple smoke with that heat, it'd be intriguing, but that wouldn't have been my first guess.
No. So I could definitely see the smoke on the mac and cheese.
Yes.
For me
Like a
personally,
smoked white cheddar mac and cheese I immediately think of.
yeah. It seems a little sweet for mac and cheese, but I'm very open to it.
I'm going to try it.
This is a tortilla chip sauce.
It's a tortilla chip sauce. It's a taco sauce.
And tortilla chips.
I'd throw this on pork chops.
Anything classic Mexican.
Yeah, it's
that's
classic
really
Mexican for sure. I do like. I love to see. I almost wish more hot sauce companies, when they post on their website like, "Hey, this is a classic sauce for these things." I'd love it if it was like these are like the go-to traditional, and then like one wild card. It's like, hey, this goes on tacos. This goes on this. This also goes on,
cheesecake,
big pudding. It's like what? Like why? Yeah, cheesecake. Yeah, cheesecake is a better one. Charcuterie. Some random thing, but the heat is the heat is good. I mean, the habanero heat, it's still not like it's not something where I'm sweating, but it definitely lingers a lot longer with that habanero.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think all verdes that we've had are pretty unique, but they all follow a very similar line.
Sure.
But I would say, like, out of the verdes, this is probably the hottest one we've had, which I don't know, it's just a surprise to me. You don't normally get a pretty hot verde, and I really like that.
Right. Just realizing I need to pull up my scorecard. I don't have scorecards here. Remote.
I got to memorize.
I know you're a veteran at the remote tasting. I'm out of my depths here. I've got everything. I'm just staring at a wall. That's the other weird thing is I'm just staring at the hotel wall. They did set me up in the like the handicap room, so I've got a lot of floor space.
You got like an extra wide door and everything.
Extra wide door, no barrier to the shower.
Roll-in shower, yeah.
Yeah, like you could fit 2 more twin beds in the space of the bedroom.
Nice.
What did you have for your fact today?
What do you think I went with?
Babies.
I went with fat babies.
Fat babies?
I did.
I did.
It's
Okay.
exactly what I went with.
I'm here for it.
It's almost like we've done this for 3 years and you know me.
I still feel more proud of myself when I can, guess as accurately because usually it's off the wall. This is pretty on the nose for you.
Fat babies?
No, like the brand
Oh,
having the
I
name of
see what
what
it
you're
is.
going with. Yeah. Yeah, you love fat babies. Like
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know where to go with this riff, and I'm just gonna continue with your fact. Continue with your
So,
fact.
so I looked up the fattest babies in the animal kingdom. I didn't specify I
Mhm.
went with human babies, but I found this wildly impressive. So, are you aware of what the largest animal to ever exist is?
The largest animal to ever exist in history?
In all of everything.
Wasn't it? Isn't it one of the whales? Isn't it like the blue whale,
It's the blue whale.
brontosaurus? That's blue whale. Okay.
It's the blue whale. Yep. So they are.
I always instinctively want to go dinosaur. So
Well, it's funny. Like I think I've covered this. I think I talked about this a long time ago. If you had a time machine, and you had just a couple rides on, a couple coins, couple tokens,
mhm.
it would be very high on my list to see the largest animal that ever existed. Problem is, the largest animal that ever existed is alive today, and
It's just underwater.
I have not one time looked at how do I go see blue whales. You probably have to go to, oh gosh, my guess is somewhere like Argentina, Peru, like southern South America,
Hmm.
somewhere towards Antarctica. But like, there's way less hurdles than Time Machine right now to go see the largest animal that ever existed, and I just haven't bothered to do it. Like there's an appeal to something that's not there anymore, and there's less of an appeal when it's right in front of you, which really bums me out. But anyways,
Okay.
it bums me out that I'm not more into the largest animal that ever existed. But if it was gone, I'd be like, God, I'd give anything to see that. Maybe I think I just talked myself into doing it. I think I'm going to look at trips to trips to
Trip
Argentina tonight. But
trips
anyway,
to submarine trips to explore blue whales.
I'd have a hard time with submarines, but I'd go.
I can't. I'm too claustrophobic.
It's not claustrophobic for me. I don't know. It's just not my shtick. I don't know. But anyways,
It is for me. Anyway, moving on. Fat
fat baby.
babies.
So they're up to 100 feet long and 200 tons. Essentially, you took two semis or two school buses and lined them up end to end.
Hmm.
That's the size of a blue whale, which is effing huge. Um, when they give birth, they have a gestation period of 1 year, which I found very short for making this big of a thing. At birth, baby blue whale calves are 23 to 27 feet long and weigh approximately 6,000 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 30 feet long. Do you know how freaking long that is?
Man, I'm just picturing someone like delivering a baby. It's just like, what breed is this? Like, oh, it's a blue whale. Just getting crushed by a yacht.
Dude, so a blue whale calf is probably bigger than most whales.
Yeah,
That is absolutely wild.
that's nuts.
I thought this is pretty interesting too. The calves eat nothing but their mother's milk for the first 7 to 8 months and gain around 200 pounds per day.
Same.
Why, the mother's milk thing?
Both. The 200 pounds per day. That's when I'm traveling for work.
So essentially, you're putting on an adult male per day in weight,
Hmm.
which, yes, you can comprehend the weight of an adult
Maybe a
male.
little less. Maybe a little less than an adult meal.
I would say your average American male.
I mean, some people are over 200. It's not a big deal.
Hold on. Sound sensitive about this, Matthew.
I'm,
Some of us have
I'm
big bones.
fine. I'm fine.
Hold on.
I was a fat
We,
baby.
we got to go. We got to go sub fact here. Average weight of American male 199.8.
I think. Okay.
I didn't mean to
Whatever.
bump you. I'm sorry, man.
Whatever. I'm not worried about it.
So essentially, you're putting on a little bit less than a Matthew per day in weight,
Slightly less.
slightly less. That's crazy to me.
That is insane. That's an insane quantity to think about.
Go
So
go walk off. Like your hotel room's not 27 feet long, and that's a newborn. That's crazy.
yeah, that's a good fact. I I'll say that's a good fat baby for fat baby facts. That's up there. What do you think I went with?
I'm gonna say you went with the word easy. Something to do with the word easy.
I thought about that. I actually really was trying to figure out. Like I was like, oh, there's
I
the
was trying
song.
to find a cool easy street fact at first.
I was like easy like Sunday morning is a song. Like I could look into something like that, or I'm like, what's? And I just started like Google searching like easy green something. You know, easy fat. Like just trying to do anything to try to find a way to make easy work. But no, I went with green. Uh, so I was looking into the history of some of the color green and how it's used in certain things. I found it interesting that there was a green called Shields green. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You
I
familiar
might
with
be mixing it
Shields
up.
green?
I might be mixing up. I'm familiar with the word shields, but I think it's because that's like it's almost like a Dunham Sporting Goods of Iowa.
So Shields green, which was a very well known green back in like I think it was invented in 1775. Shields green, also known as Schloss green, is a chemically a cupric hydrogen arsenite, but it was specifically, and it's related to Paris green, but it was a
Oh,
green.
that's like Shrek green.
Yeah, this green specifically, it was a vibrant pigment used back in the day. It was used for wallpapers, candles, home goods, clothes, and even confections. It was extremely popular, but it had one major flaw.
It was extremely radioactive, is my guess.
It contained arsenic and led to the deaths of children and possibly Napoleon until it was discontinued in 1870.
Oh gosh.
So a bunch of little short people. So they probably killed some fat babies.
Oh my god! Right as you said that, I pulled up this picture right here. This has got to be the photos without context. It says
This color killed Napoleon.
this color killed Napoleon, and it's a girl standing there in like the green dress.
You know, some colors in fashion just slay for in different ways.
That's funny.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Where it's like, hey, this color is fantastic. We love this color, but like, it does have arsenic. So is it worth it?
Yeah.
It's the Parks and Rec when they're looking at the colors in the sky and they're like, oh, it's beautiful. It's like, yeah, it's pollution from the Sweetums factory. You know, it stunts our growth and it shortens our life expectancy, but it's beautiful. Is it worth it? And then Ben
Right.
White's like, no, it's not. It's like, oh, this color's beautiful. Is it worth the arsenic and the death of Napoleon and other short kings? Like,
So is
no.
the arsenic specifically what gives it that unique green color?
Um, I don't know.
Like I'm curious what role arsenic has in it. Can you make that color
So
without arsenic in it?
let's see. During the Victorian era, some wallpaper dyes contained poisonous arsenic to increase the brightness of the color. So it was about the brightness of the color that the arsenic helped with.
Interesting.
Um, but yeah, I used copper arsenic because of its brilliance and durability. Shields green.
It's a cool color. It is. If you only listen to this radio program and you never actually look at any of the visuals,
Yeah,
it
we are on
is
the radio. We're on at 2 a.m. in Hawaii.
the small island.
Yeah, the one that's uninhabited. We're on Mackinac Island radio.
Sentinel Island.
We're on Mackinac Island radio, only able to be picked up on the top at Fort Holmes.
That's really funny.
If you're from Michigan, that's a good joke. If you're not from Michigan, you're just like, okay, guys, move on.
Yeah. But no, it is like Princess Fiona from Shrek. It is her dress green.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see what exactly the color code is for that one. I'm gonna get a shirt, and it's just gonna say like if shirts could kill, and no
Can you
one.
imagine
It's an inside joke.
going to Sherwin-Williams, just be like, can you do Shields green, but like extra arsenic?
Can you do original Shields green? Like, all right, so you're a risk taker, or get a Shields green shirt and then just all it says on the shirt is this killed Napoleon. And it's like I have so many questions. Are you saying you did? Are you saying this shirt did?
Right.
If looks could kill this shirt.
It makes me wonder what is happening today. Well, I could tell you what's happening today, Red 40, but like what is going on today that there's going to be a couple of schmoes in the future who are doing a podcast and be like, can you imagine back in 2025, those morons were, eating Red 40,
If
just getting everyone
Shields
cancer?
if Shields green tasted like Cool Ranch flamin' hot Doritos, it would
There's
never have gotten discontinued.
not a snowball's chance in hell that
We'd we'd
Cool
figure out a
Ranch
way.
Doritos, who are not a sponsor of this episode,
Yeah.
those red and green flakes, probably little arsenic flakes, maybe.
Hmm.
Uh, there's no way a Cool Ranch Dorito is not just like causing some kind of significant issues that we're going to catch in the future and be like, can you believe we used to eat those things?
Yeah, we'll find out in the history books if they allow us to read them.
4 out of 5 dentists would recommend Cool Ranch Doritos back in the day.
It's like, you guys realize how many Doritos were sold to the American people for decades? It's like they were doing Super Bowl ads.
They're damn good though.
They're so good. I did the Meyer brand, like the off-brand ones, and they're fine. It's not the same. It's not the same.
When you go seasoned down on your tongue on just a way overly seasoned Cool Ranch Dorito,
Yeah.
that's borderline hitting a home run and just not feeling it hit the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. That is my drug of choice is the flavor side down of a Dorito on the tongue. All right, let's get into the score on this. This sauce. So we've talked a lot of tangents here. This is really an amazing sauce. Like for a traditional green sauce, like the smoke is a nice level smoke. It's a strong smoke, but it's not the liquid smoke that kind of turns people off to the sauce. This is a natural smoke. From all intents and purposes, this tastes like a very natural smoke, but it's stronger. It's on the stronger side of the spectrum, not overly so. And then the pineapple balances it good. They've got the pineapple juice in there, and I like the extra heat. Like as much as I love a good salsa verde, nowadays with like as your tolerance increases, you want a little bit more kick in there, and I think that does it really well. I agree with you. I think this is like a 2 on heat because it does linger. I don't think you're gonna sweat through. Like if you did you know, ate this whole bottle with tortilla chips, you'll be burning for a bit, but you're not going to be sweating, I don't think. So I put this as a 2 out of 5.
A little bit of a runny nose, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a runny nose, but I was working in freezing rain all day, so that's probably just the illness coming to get me. I had some egg drop soup tonight to try to fight it back.
I'm surprised you're not sitting in a hot bathtub right now doing this.
It's the cold plunge, man. It got me. It got my core temperature down. It's like I live in this now. I was born in the shadows, in the cold. But I had this one for my score. I had this as an 85 out of 100.
I had 90.
Yeah, it's a really good sauce. Like it takes the traditional green sauce that you might be accustomed to, and it adds some flair with the pineapple and the smoke. I will be trying this on mac and cheese, just because I am curious how that balances. So that will be a good venture into something new. But again, this is Fat Baby Hot Sauce. Fatbabyhotsauce.com is the website. Instagram and Facebook is just that, Fat Baby Hot Sauce. So that was the first sauce. Now the second sauce we're getting into, it's a brand we've been doing a lot of lately because they did send us quite a bit of sauce, and so I try to space it out where I want to, like, if we try one company once or twice close together, it's like, all right, let's give some other brands some shine, and we'll come back to it. Just also to allow, a brand we can, show throughout, a few months. But the reason I wanted to do this sauce, the Hot House hot sauce from Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, this is on Hot Ones right now. This is a Hot Ones exclusive in the new season. It's a sauce that I believe they made specifically, or at least they released it specifically with the show. And so you cannot get this sauce on their website. You have to go to heatness.com. But this is at the number 7 spot right before Da Bomb. So it is a hotter sauce.
I was not expecting this. I told you we were pulling sour cream out of the fridge earlier.
Yeah.
It
How's it smell?
had a little bit of an oil slick on top, so now I'm like, okay, probably gonna stick to the taste buds a bit.
Do you wanna take any stabs at the peppers that are in this?
I'm gonna say there's a scorpion pepper in there.
Surprisingly, no. The chili peppers that are included in this, and just so as because there's a little asterisk here in the ingredients that it says grown within 200 miles of our Vermont kitchen. So everything of these chili peppers is grown within 200 miles of their kitchen. The chili peppers include serranos, habaneros, reapers, ghosts, and carmines. I don't know what a carmine is.
I'm not familiar with Carmen's.
I wish I would have done that for my fact. Distilled vinegar, tomatoes, water, cilantro, salt, olive oil, lemon juice concentrate, dill, and black pepper. They actually put asterisks next to everything that is grown within 200 miles. So you see like the dill, the cilantro, the tomatoes, and the peppers. All of those are local, which is great.
I can definitely smell the dill.
And the description on the side of the bottle says this blazingly delightful sauce features the best the garden has to offer. Cilantro and dill balanced perfectly with tomatoes and our unique 5-pepper blend to create this surprisingly versatile sauce. It tastes fantastic on grilled cheese, tapenade, and fish. Tapenade would be good.
All right. This might be embarrassing. I have no idea what that is.
What, tapenade?
Yeah.
Let me say what I think it is, and then I'm going to look it up because I believe I know what it is. I believe tapenade, like I think of an olive tapenade, which is like a minced olive, almost like a topper at like on a charcuterie.
Never heard
tapenade is a spread or condiment consisting of pureed or finely chopped olives, capers, and sometimes anchovies. It's delicious.
Isn't that called a giardiniera?
No, giardiniera is different. Giardiniera is like an Italian Chicago thing.
What is okay?
Tapenade versus giardiniera. Let's talk about it right now.
Let's just clear the air right now.
Yeah, let's see. AI is going to tell me this one. This is going to be an AI special. Tapenade is a spread made from olives, while giardiniera is a condiment made from pickled vegetables. So tapenade is briny and olive flavored. Giardiniera is tangy, slightly spicy flavor.
There's olives in giardiniera though, isn't there?
Both are used on like breads. Like the tapenade's used on bread. The giardiniera is used on sandwiches, so also bread. But
aren't there olives?
Very different. No, I mean giardiniera is usually pickled vegetables, vinegar based, and spices, while the tapenade is olive oil based.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, see, the more you learn. I saw something recently that was like an olive spread, and I almost bought it because I love olives. I love olives in almost any form.
I like green olives in Europe, and that's about it.
Except for somebody got me once the lemon stuffed olives, which are specifically for like martinis, and I don't drink martinis. So like I don't really feel like popping lemon olives in my mouth.
That sounds appealing to me.
What, watching me eat lemon olives?
No, me trying to let them out.
Yeah. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's good. Like I'm sure the tapenade with a spritz of lemon.
Yeah.
Might
be do that again, but slower. Yeah.
like, can you break it a little bit slower on the side of your mouth this time? Like, okay, cool. But yeah, no, this is a hotter sauce. The website for Butterfly Bakery, vt.com, lists the sauce, but also, currently not available through them with any Hot One sauce. It has to be bought through Heatness while it's in the season, which it currently is. I want to see if they have any other food recommendations on here. No, they have the same description as they do on the bottle here. So let me smell this. I haven't even opened mine. I know you gave yours a whiff. Let me shake up there's a little bit of oil on top, which just means it's a natural sauce that's settling. Yeah, that smells hot. Definitely that Reaper.
I get a lot of dill. Now that you say it, mostly what I smell is dill, and it smells very appealing.
I love dill. I love cilantro. I think Zach Perkins from High Desert. I don't think he's a cilantro guy.
Without having tried this yet, This smells like it would be killer on wings.
Yeah, this
Good
like
hot chicken wing.
I haven't watched the newest season of Hot Ones. I've been focusing so much on the Not Ones videos that we've been doing that I have not been watching the guests, and they've had a couple of good ones. Like the comedian Stavros, he's a funny guy. I listened to him on a podcast recently. I'm like, that's probably a good episode. But also the thing that frustrates me on Hot Ones right now, and this isn't like a anything really that bold, they used to at least spend a little bit more time letting them comment on the sauce, and maybe they have this year, and I just haven't watched the season enough to see. But like when Sam from Sam Sauce had his one on there, I was like all excited. I'm like, oh, they're gonna try this. They're gonna say something like, "Ooh, the smoke. Oh, this is a nice, this is a nice balance or whatever." And it's just like they bite it, they go, okay, or they just the celebrity gets so mentally prepared for like, I need to be tough and prepare for battle. So they take a bite of like the milder ones and they're like, not bad. What else you got? Bring it. And it's like, just talk about the sauce, man.
Yeah.
Like, or at least have like, hey, we have an extra episode of just like a hypercut of like a minute and a half where there's like a 10-second blurb from every sauce that we just didn't have in like, we took out in the cutting room floor and put it in like a sauce focused video. That's my little soapbox. Let's focus back on what made the Hot Ones great. It's not about Sean Evans and his incredible research and questioning. Yeah. It's not about camera guy Bill. It's not about, if you can get, Sydney Sweeney or Ariana Grande or
do you know how much more
whoever
successful you would be if you listened to Matt's advice? Good God.
Yeah, that's what's holding you back. It's what's holding you back is you're not focusing on the sauce. It's Parks and Rec when the Cones of Dunshire, when that they found out that game was being played other places, and Ben Wyatt's like, you forgot about the core element of the game. It's about the cones. Like you forgot about the Hot Ones core element of the show. It's about the hot wings.
Exactly.
I'm just delaying the inevitable. I have to be more careful with the spoon pour on this one because this is a deep spoon.
You're making me nervous. I thought this was going to be...
It's going to be good. I am very excited about the flavors. I love cilantro. I love dill. They talk about the balance of the two. I'm ready for this. It has, when I'm looking at the color and consistency on the spoon, it looks like a taco sauce to me if I didn't know anything and didn't smell it. It has more of that
brownish deep red.
Brownish red, little orange into it. It's got some good texture to it. It's a very smooth sauce, not a lot of like chunk to it. Let's give it a try.
All right.
Shall we?
We shall. Ooh. It is much creamier and emulsified than I thought.
Oil gives it has a very velvety like mouthfeel to it.
Oh, velvety is a good word.
And I hate saying mouthfeel. Mouthfeel's not an ideal term I like to use.
That's a good heat. Good as in like enjoyable. Where did you say this one fell on the rankings? I haven't watched this
7th.
Year.
So 7 out of 10, right behind Da Bomb. This is the thing leading into Da Bomb.
Gosh. So it's been one of the cool things about doing this podcast is trying sauces.
Meeting your best friend.
Yeah.
Thank you. That you didn't know that you had even while we were recording.
It took me 3 years to realize that we're actually friends.
It took Lauren Graham from Hot Graham Sauce Company mentioning, hey, it's just two best friends recording, and we're like, is that us?
But no, like what's been really neat is seeing a large sample size of people react to these sauces where some people are like, oh, that's good, I like hot sauce. Other people are like, I'm going to die. But then try the same thing for yourself, to have that perspective on, just to see. It's one thing to watch the show and you'd be like, man, that must be really hot. They're crying. But then to try and be like, oh yeah, that's really enjoyable. That's a really good sauce.
Yeah, I know that like when we started out, your tolerance was higher than mine. I think it still is, but my progress on my tolerance has raised to a point where this sauce would have sent me for a loop first 6 months of us doing this.
Yeah.
It still makes me antsy because I see the peppers and I'm like, I know the heat can really kick, and it still is hot. It's on my lips, it's on the back of my tongue. I can feel like my face getting kind of flushed.
Yeah.
but the flavor is so good, and I'm able to, because the tolerance is higher for me, I'm able to enjoy it. But yeah, this is something that you give it to, yeah, someone that isn't accustomed to spicy things like on hot ones.
You're gonna
They're
drop.
gonna, yeah, and this is gonna be, and the nice thing though, this is a positive thing that Hot Ones is doing. To bomb is a terrible tasting sauce that just hurts.
Hmm.
Everyone says like
I want to
Charlize
try.
Theron is flipping off to bomb because it's like I was having a good time until you showed up. That's what she did. This is a very nice like, hey, before we completely destroy you, this is hot, so it prepares you for that heat, but it's really good flavor.
Hmm.
And I do like, yeah, the oil in it does give it like a good smooth texture to it. I want to take another spoonful because the heat still is kind of up front on there, and usually the second spoonful is when you get a little bit more of the delicate flavor because your body's already now prepared for what heat is coming.
I really like the cilantro and the dill in there. Cilantro and dill is not something I would have normally paired together or wouldn't have thought to pair together,
Yeah,
but you get kind of a you get like the freshness and brightness of the cilantro with almost like a savory pickly dill flavor to it.
right.
You know, that's really
Grilled
good.
cheese. Grilled cheese is one of the things they
That'd
listed,
be
which I
good.
could see that because it's a tomato based sauce, so it's kind of like a spicy tomato soup alternative.
Or if you, oh man, if you did a made like a homemade tomato soup and then just added a bunch of this in there,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be really good. I really enjoy the sauce. They did a really good job with this one.
One of my go-to things lately has been certain hot sauces I will blend with softened butter and then spread that on the bread and toast it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's really really good. I did that with one of the Lucky Dog sauces. I wish I could remember which one. It was one that was more garlicky, but this would be a good one where you do that so you got the cheese in the center and then you got this flavor on the outside with the buttered toasted bread.
Hmm.
I would do that. Just this isn't my fun fact, but I did look up Carmen pepper, and if this is the Carmen pepper that they use, it says unlike the more common bell pepper, the Carmen boasts a sweeter, more nuanced flavor, has a crisp texture, and a delicate sweetness with a slight hint of earthiness, making it an excellent addition to salads, grilled dishes, and even a raw snack.
Hmm. Is it Carmin?
Yep, like Carmen San Diego.
I don't know. Who is that?
Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? You didn't ever heard of that?
Never heard of that.
You didn't hear about the computer game, the TV show, I think the books.
I
Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? The song?
dude, you might as well be talking French to me right now. I have no
Well,
idea what you're
I'm
talking
not,
about.
not going to speak French.
I have zero.
Unless Carmen San Diego's hiding there, then I got to learn it.
Can,
Dude, I
can
used to play Carmen San Diego all the time when I was a kid.
can you expand? Like, what is it?
So it was the game that I played. It was a computer game. At least that was my most familiar side. I didn't watch the show as much. The video game for the computer, it was basically a way to learn about different places in the world. You look up hints on where Carmen San Diego or where certain criminals were, and one of them, the biggest criminal, was Carmen San Diego. She was this elusive thief, but you would get these clues, and then you would go to different places in the world based on those clues, and you would inadvertently learn about different landmarks,
Wait a
different
minute.
things.
That looks really familiar.
Yeah, should go to your nostalgia zone. Come
I
back.
think I may have in the past accidentally dabbled in this.
That's that's a weird way of saying it, but okay.
I mean,
In
I
what way did
definitely,
you dabble? Was it the game or the show?
I don't know. It looks familiar, but it just
They also came out with a newer show recently for Disney. It wasn't as good, I don't think, but also I'm an adult, so it's not for me.
I feel it was it on like old school like Windows 98 PC.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, that's probably I may have played a demo of it
I think it
because
was it done by
it looks.
Sierra or different? I don't know what
I
company
love
did
the
it,
little
but
fuzzy guy that walks up and says Sierra. Sierra. Do you remember
yeah.
that? Oh man, I love that. Yeah, that was in front of not in front of, but that started one of my favorite. It's my favorite PC game of all time. It was a fishing game. I can't remember the name of it. Um, But anytime I saw that little fuzzy Sierra guy show up, I knew it was game time. It was on.
Yeah, but anyway, what? Enough about Carmen
Good thing we
Sandiego.
don't get sidetracked in this
Yeah,
episode.
man, this is just. I just hear the sauce makers that actually want to listen to what we think of their sauce, just going like, get back to the thing. Like as I'm soapboxing about how Hot Ones doesn't really talk about the sauce enough, and then they're like, "You're you're the ones talking about that."
Learning about Carmen Sandiego.
So my fun fact for this sauce, which is an amazing sauce, um, I went with dill because I thought that was interesting that dill was one of
Yeah.
the focus ingredients, and I do agree like that dill the dill in this sauce is a nice balance with the cilantro. So I went with the word dill. The word dill comes from the Old Norse word dilla, meaning to lull. Due to its calming properties, in medieval Europe, dill was believed to ward off witchcraft and evil spirits. So there you go.
Was it a? Are you referring to a domesticated version of it, or is that like is dill domesticated? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that either. That's not my fact.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's not the component of my fact. Maybe next time we have something dill, I'll do more fact.
Okay.
But all I know is that in medieval Europe, if you were if you were worried about witchcraft and evil spirits, having something like this, kind of a big deal. You're welcome.
Saved you from a lot. That's funny. So it's the equivalent of garlic and vampires.
Yeah, that's what it
And
seems like.
there's some culinary genius that came out of protecting yourselves from evil things back in the day.
Yeah, there's probably some good propaganda where it's like we need to try to tell people that like this herb or this ingredient like is critical for their
Yeah.
safety.
The reason I asked about the domestication of dill,
Mm-hmm.
so if you said like, oh, back in the day they would ward off evil spirits with wild carrot. You
Okay.
know, what you would picture would be some dude waving carrots around. But you know when you're driving in the summertime and you see a field of Queen Anne's lace, it's the white flower.
Yeah.
There's just so Queen Anne's lace is carrot. I mean, you just breed that continuously till you get a big orange root, and that's the carrots that you get from the store. So that's why I ask, like, you could pull it out of the ground, you'd be like, oh, it's a stinky weed. But what you don't realize is it's the exact same plant as the carrot today. It just looks wildly different.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked, like, is it? I'm just trying to picture like the dill that you see in August in Michigan at the grocery store for pickling. Is that what they were waving around, or were they waving around like this little tiny nub of a thing that wasn't, bread and bread and bread and bread until you got this big giant green fluffy thing? Anyways,
It might be closer to the undomesticated. That's just a guess. That's based on no facts of any kind.
I'm excited for our next dill sauce just to.
I'm gonna find out the timeline of the domestication of dill.
That's funny. All right, so I went with. What do you think I went with?
We went with saunas.
You think I went with saunas?
Hot house. What's the hottest house? It's a sauna.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm not. I ain't one of those thinkers, Matt. Come on.
Okay.
I went with butterflies. Use your head.
I mean,
Um,
I always guess butterflies though.
you
But here's
do
the
it. I'm.
thing: whenever we do a remote episode where I give you sauce ahead of time, all you know is title and brand. So I know it was a 50-50 toss up for me.
Right. I Google. I'll Google and try to find online. I'll do some
Okay.
research, but um,
If you use Bing, I hear it's better. Or
um,
Lycos or
I've never heard of
whatever the
like
other defunct one is. Lycos isn't around anymore.
Edge.
But you went with butterflies.
I did, and I'm going to drop a hint. As long as we do Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, I'm going to do Butterfly Facts because why not?
Okay.
So I went with the. How old do you think butterflies are? Not into. Well, I'm gonna just hit you with this one. The individual butterfly, the longest lived recorded butterfly is 13 months.
Like as far as the longest life expectancy of a specific breed of butterfly.
This is it's a long lived breed, but the longest recorded individual's lifespan was 13 months.
Okay.
which for a bug is pretty crazy considering a lot of bugs live for about a week.
Sure.
Like a week for a bug is a long time. But anyways, how old do you think butterflies are as a species?
Oh man,
I was I would have been millennia off if someone asked me this question.
I mean, I always feel like I'm going to be a millennia off. I'm going to say
Many millennia for me.
I'm going to go 2000 years.
Butterflies are 2,000 years old.
Yep.
Yeah,
Before that, there were pterodactyls.
you're off by a lot. They're older than pterodactyls.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
Take that.
millions, billions.
200 million years old. So there was a group of
But there's a
scientists.
two in there. There's a two in there.
There is. When you said two, I'm like, he's about to get this. And then you were, let's see, 199,999,707,000 short.
I just did I not include the other zeros I was gonna?
Oh,
Oh
you,
man,
you forgot the other 11 zeros.
the
That goes
the
on.
25 the it was 2000 to the 2000th power. It's
That number doesn't exist.
I don't know. Math's not my strong suit.
You know what you should do? Go to Chat GPT, type in, can you show me 2000 to the 2000th power? And then take a screenshot of the 9 septillion zeros that it's going to spit you out.
I'm doing it right now.
Your computer's going to crash.
It's analyzing.
It's going to be doing that a while.
It says it's an extremely large number, exceeding the limit for integer string conversion in Python. It has how many digits? It has more than how many digits?
So 2000 to the 2000th power, I'm going to say it has,
And it just says more than. So I don't know if it's
I'm going to
does it
say
say
it has more than 300,000 digits.
it just said 4,300 digits. So
Asking another question. How many zeros are in 2000 to the 2000th power?
I'm this is not the podcast people came to listen to.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about?
I didn't even come for this podcast. God, it's giving me so much math. It says there are 6,000 trailing zeros in 2000 to the 2000th power.
Okay, so I was way the F off, but 6,000 zeros, that's a lot.
Butterfly guess ain't bad now, huh?
All right. I'll give you the quickie here. Butterflies are 200 million years old. They
Okay.
drilled some cores in Germany, and they found fossilized wing scales along with tubular mouth parts used for sucking and feeding on modern day moths. What's crazy is when you picture a moth feeding, what are you picturing? What are they feeding?
Aren't they just eating like either the pollen or the eating on leaves or something?
The nectar out of flowers.
Yeah.
So moths and butterflies existed before flowering plants did.
So back then it just ate dinosaurs.
Could have. You never know. But this got these guys scratching their head going, wait a second. So we just found out that moths and butterflies are older than flowering plants,
Which
but they
what they
have
yeah, which what they
proboscis
thrive on.
to do that. So now they're scratching their head of like, do we have our plant timeline screwed up? Were there other plants that we weren't aware of that these things are eating? So it just opened, like one discovery opened a whole can of, let's call it, bad dad joke, caterpillars.
Yeah. They really open up a chrysalis of
Yeah.
potential there.
So yeah,
So I know butterfly stuff.
I just thought that was interesting. Isn't it funny? Like you find a couple fossilized scales and a couple of butterfly noses, and the next thing you know, you're like, do we have history totally backwards here?
I'm gonna be honest though, if it broke tomorrow, like the news was like headlines like, hey, everything you knew about how long flowers have been around is dead wrong. Tune in at 5 o'clock.
No one would tune in.
I really don't care. Like I'm not
It,
gonna
it
be
would be
like,
me and the guy that discovered it that tuned in, and then be
yeah,
about
yeah. I mean, you would be like, dude, this needs to be top of the show.
like text you, Matt. Did you hear the news? Be like, God,
Yeah,
are you not quitting? Are you? No, And
Like,
butterflies, man.
throw everything about flower history that you knew out the window and be ready. And it's like, okay, won't be hard.
That's
But it is interesting because I understand that there's the questions of, okay, if butterflies were around and they had these items that were designed perfectly with flowering plants, but flowering plants are not shown to be around when they first existed. What were they like? What
what were
was
they?
their purpose with that?
Yeah,
Or how is it that they had something geared perfectly for something that did not exist yet?
yeah, right.
It's like, yeah,
Pretty interesting.
yeah. I
It's
just
like
that is a little mind bendy.
we can cut this off pretty immediately, but it almost throws in like a creationist argument. I feel like that is a an argument a creationist could use of like, hold on, you're saying so, all right, these things evolve in parallel. How do you explain them having flower sucking appendages before flowers existed?
Well, now we're just gonna cause a whole lot of controversy. Now we're getting
That's right.
into
This is
that.
a hot sauce podcast.
If all when all else fails and you don't know how to explain it, God had a plan. You just didn't tell anybody. It's like, hey, butterflies, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have this on your face. But like, what's it for? You'll
You'll
see.
you'll find out in a couple million years.
Yeah, a couple million years.
That's
Um, by the way, dinosaurs, you're gonna love them. Like, they're gonna be great.
God. Isn't it funny? Like the dinosaurs got smoked. Almost none of them made it, and then these butterflies that are made of absolutely the most fragile, delicate thing you can think of survived a meteor strike.
Interesting. I'm gonna guess that uh, the butterfly was created and it just had a when it was being formed, there was some type of medium or future telling ability the butterflies had. It's like, we're gonna need this down the line. Maybe not in my life, but
Yeah,
like, we're gonna need this straw face.
your grandson to the 2000 to the 2000s power is gonna
Yeah,
find
with
this
all
really
that math.
useful one day.
Yeah, for sure. So no, that is a good fact though. I will say, as much as you go back to the butterfly well quite a bit with Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, they are still delivering on quality facts. So can't really argue with that.
Oh, I feel like there was a lot of sarcasm. As much as I hate your stupid facts about butterflies, that was pretty entertaining.
Well, I was just saying is like because I kind of hit hard where it's like, oh, already did butterfly. I don't want to guess it again. I'm like, well, I have to concede. It's a good fact.
I'm gonna hit you with two butterfly facts next time just for that attitude.
Well, good luck. We're gonna try sauces that have to do with nothing but non-butterfly factors.
I'll find the way. I'm the king of facts to the nth degree.
That's true.
I'll relate it.
So this sauce, while being very hot, has really good flavor. I'm really liking as you have more rounds of the sauce, you can get a little more nuance with the cilantro, with with the uh, with the dill. It is hot though. That is a good burner sauce. I like the tomato in there. I do agree that the grilled cheese. I'm excited to try this with a grilled cheese in some capacity, whether I do it with the butter or in with the tomato soup, or just drizzle it over the sandwich once I'm done, or once I'm done making it. I have this as a high 3 on heat. I don't think it's like a 0 out of 5. We have 4 is like good pain, 5 is bad. I don't think it's a painful sauce, but it is a reactionary sauce. Like, my nose is running pretty decent from the 3 spoonfuls I had, so it
Yeah,
does
I
burn
had a
burn
three as
pretty
well.
hot.
Yep, I had a three. It's a very edible, good hot. It's an enjoyable hot.
Yeah, the sauce itself, on a score out of 100, I had this as an 87.
I had 88.
Yeah, so anything above 75, we're recommending to buy. It's something we'd have in our kitchen year round. Above 50, recommend to buy in general. Below 25, not for us, maybe for you, but both of these sauces, they have a perfect spot in my fridge, even though my fridge is overloaded as it is right now. One on the milder, one on what's ironic is like the milder sauce was surprisingly hot, and this sauce, while not surprisingly hot when you look at what the ingredients is, it's not killing you though with how hot it is. Like, obviously, if you're not a chili head or if you're not big into hot sauce, you're gonna probably freak out on this one because it does burn good, but it's a
Mhm.
real enjoyable burn. I really like it. So yeah, so those are the sauces for this week's episode. Again, just to mention, fatbabyhotsauce.com is their website, Butterfly Bakery Vermont, or butterflybakeryvt.com. And again, you can go to their site to see this sauce and a bunch of their other sauces, but you will have to redirect to the Heatiness link, which is on the Hot House sauce page from their website. So both of these, I know Fat Baby Hot Sauce, we will have to do a deeper dive into that brand. We tried their sauerkraut mustard sauce, which was really good. We have a couple other ones, some interesting ones with some lemon as the focus ingredient. And I've seen that on their website they have some other sauces that have me pretty intrigued. But they also have a farmer's market locally that I can get those sauces a little bit easier. So hopefully I can set something up to maybe do a interview or some capacity there. Just a couple special thank yous and shout outs. Special thank you to Claire from Butterfly Bakery Vermont. This sauce was one where when they released on Hot Ones that this was in their lineup, without any correspondence to us, she sent this out just like, hey, this sauce is brand new, give it a try. And I'm like, well, now we have to have it on the podcast because that's, you know, relevant to the current season of Hot Ones. But it's always nice when people think of us as a brand that they would like to have try the sauce early on just to help get the word out. And so we try to front load those like new release sauces as best we can. Don't always do the best with kind of how hectic our day-to-day until this becomes our full-time job. It's hard to say, hey, work, family, hold on, I got to go record a podcast in the basement. So it was nice to get this one in the mail. Special shout out to one of our followers of the podcast and on the socials. Their name is Misha. He recommended, or he tagged us on Facebook. There's a place in Muskegon, so just not too far northwest of us, a Navarro's Mexican takeout place that was posted about on Facebook, and he tagged us and said, hey, you know, is this close to you? And I have a new Mexican place that I have to try. I don't know if you've heard of Navarro's Mexican Takeout in Muskegon.
I have not. My former favorite Mexican joint was in Muskegon. It was El Camino, home of El Camino hot sauce, my favorite hot sauce of all time.
What if they have the Camino? They rebranded, or they just said, hey, come help build this empire of Navarro's.
When you said Muskegon, a Mexican restaurant, that's the first thing that popped into my head of like, maybe there's a phoenix in here, a rebirth from the ashes.
Yeah, or you know, another iteration could be, hey, yeah, I had that Camino sauce, I loved it, I made my own version of it, here's my take. And then, you know, maybe it's something that's comparable, better, great. I don't know. We do have the El Camino or the Camino sauce in our studio that we could try, but also I feel like once we crack it open, you're going to just drink it down.
You're just getting my hopes up right now.
You've also hyped it up to a way where I just feel like I'm going to be disappointed with how much you've hyped it, because you describe it, the way you describe it, I'm like, this is kind of like hyping up Frank's. Obviously, I think it's going to be better than Frank's, but like hyping up Frank's because it's like I had the sauce, you know, early on and really excited about it, and then you have it and you're like, it's fine. So I'm a little worried.
I hope you don't like it, so you give me the damn bottle back.
Okay. I mean, you had a bottle. You decided to give it to Vic Klinko and put it in the wall with our signatures on it, which is crazy. Our signatures are on a bottle in Vic Klinko's collection. That right there that should be on my resume. One on my resume.
Have seriously considered shooting him a message being like, I'll buy it back from you. I gave it to you. I signed it.
Before you ever send that message, I'll just give you the bottle I have. Because I have part ownership in that bottle. My name's on that bottle.
Well, there's the last two in existence. So
Potentially.
I'll just get both. Allegedly.
Yeah, but also last special shout out. Even though this episode will air probably either tomorrow or the next day, depending on if I can stay awake to edit it here tonight still. But as of today, still for another hour, it is Eric Stankiewicz from Stanky Sauce's birthday. So happy birthday to the Stanky brother. And then thank you again for listening. However you listen, we do appreciate you. Follow us on Instagram at The Heat Source Podcast for all updates. Send us a message on there or email us at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com for any feedback requests and other comments. Tune again next week where we have some potential sauces lined up, or maybe we'll have an interview. Only time will tell. We'll see.
Sounds good. We'll see you.
See you. I told you about Polly's crate stuff, her issues,
Hmm.
where like she just goes berserk.
Yeah.
I bought. Did I tell you I bought Canine Ballistic? Like that's the website. I bought a pad and a cover for the crate.
No.
So I bought that, and it came right before I left. So I set it all up, but I was like, when I get home, I'm gonna crate trainer. It'll be fine. Angela's like, well, I'm gonna be gone for like 3 hours the first day that you're in the field, so we'll see how it goes. I'm like, I don't have a good feeling. She ripped up like a $60 Canine Ballistics pad that's zip tied down to the like the corners.
Damn.
So I think it's twofold. One of them is her breed in general has severe separation anxiety. Like they just don't do well away from
Yeah.
their owners, away from people. So that's one. The other is it's been so cold that I haven't been able to take them to the dog park to just like run for like an hour. And right now is the right time to do it because I don't have to worry about the ducks that mess with them.
The ducks.
Yeah, at the park.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't even make any sense because when the ducks mess with them, like I thought the ducks only mess with purebred, and these ones are mutts.
Was that planned?
The last part was a joke that I'm like, oh, this is a funny joke. I should incorporate this. Everything else up until the ducks part was all true.
That's funny.
So
That's a good one.
so instead of it being 100% a lie setup, this was a lot of truth with just a little bit of a setup.
Yeah, that's funny. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Didn't see that coming.